What's up, everybody, and welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. This video is actually a follow-up to my Leveling Up and Succeeding video. And it's a very interesting thing because I got a comment in the comment section, and I want this person who's going to see this to be aware. I am not trolling you. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not picking on your family. I'm not saying that they don't work hard. I'm not saying that they don't try. I'm not saying that at all. The comment was roughly something about the fact that his mom and his brother have been stuck in minimum wage paying jobs and have no stability for the last 15 years. Now, aside from the fact that they may live in an area where there are not many jobs at all, and they have to take what they can get, my question to him was, what was their schooling, and why did they not use their talents and strengths to further themselves? Because those are the two things, schooling and your talents, that can actually take you out of that situation. And, I don't know the whole backstory, but I do know anybody that's stuck somewhere doing something for 15 years they don't want to do, they fail to have a plan, first of all. Okay, the plan is not in place. The second thing is schooling. If you had a 4-year degree or a master's degree or even a PhD, you're not going to be doing minimum wage for 15 years. That's just not going to happen. Now, people can argue the fact that, well, they had to work, they had to do this. I mean, I've seen single moms with 3 kids that still go to school and get their degree. You can go do it online nowadays. You can do it in your own spare time. Even if it takes you 5 years to get a 1-year or 2-year degree, you can still do it. Like, there's no excuses anymore as to why not to get the degree. Do I have one? No, I don't have one. I am fucking awful at tests. I am fucking terrible at school. I fucking suck at it, period. So for me, even if it took me 10 years to get a 2-year degree, I mean, I could still do it, but it was such a painful thought for me to do that shit that I never did it. I just put it aside and said, fuck it, I don't need school. Which turned out to be the case for me because I knew that I could use my strengths and talents rather than schooling to get me somewhere. So let's say the fact that schooling was not an option for this guy's parents or in brother. Now, what are their talents? There's something that they can do. There's absolutely something that they can do that could further them along career-wise, life-wise, money-wise, all these different things. Everybody has something that they're good at. I mean, let's say the brother was good at playing guitar. Let's say the mother was good at baking cookies. She could bake cookies and start selling them online. I mean, there's so many things. Or even, I had one person that, I wouldn't say it's a talent, but they put a lot of effort into going to yard sales. This is fucked up. Buying stuff at yard sales, very cheap. We're talking like $1/4 for a shirt, and turning around on eBay and selling the stuff for like $5 for the shirt. And when I went to her house, she had like a fucking room full of random shit that she was selling on eBay, and she was making a fucking $60,000 a year fucking salary selling shit on eBay. And if she put more time into it, she would have done more than that on top of the job that she was already doing. It was like in her spare time. So you see, there's so many different avenues, especially with the online thing. I think that a lot of people, well, my mom's older, she doesn't know online. Bullshit. My mom's fucking like 73 years old, and she's on fucking Facebook messaging me. She's playing fucking games on there. She's looking at my videos. It can be done if they fucking want to do it. It's not like you can't teach an old dog, not calling your old mom, what's up? Old dog, new tricks. And where do I come from? This guy's saying, my mother is stuck in 15 years. My parents are in their 70s, or in mid-70s. They're just getting ready to move again. They just moved recently. I don't know if the last time you moved is, but to move as a fucking 70-year-old fucking, senior citizen is a very fucking difficult thing to do. And they've moved probably in the last, 5 years, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 times, something like that. In the last 10 years, I'd say they moved maybe 10 times, something like that. So they're consistently moving all the time, mostly due to the fact that it is a money issue. They have, no stability financially in their lives because they both quit school before 8th grade. Neither one of them got a degree. Both of them went into that workforce where it was hard labor work, minimum wage work. And that's where they got stuck in for the rest of their life. And did not, my dad has an amazing woodworking talents. He could make a fucking woodworking project without having the right fucking tools, without having the fucking right stains. He could do that. That's one of his talents. He can build shit amazing. My mom, very smart with numbers and figures. That's one of her talents. These are things that they've never tapped into. My mom is super creative financially too. I mean, as far as getting the most out of your dollar for fucking, with the minimum amount of money, she's super smart with that stuff. That's a financial planner. You know, those are talents that they never tapped into because they were never aware of, or they never took the time to, or they didn't think it would work. You know, to do those things, to take the time to tap into those talents and start a woodworking business, or start, you know, her own business as a financial advisor without a degree, whatever the case may be, takes balls. You know, it takes the leap of faith. You know, for instance, my grandfather, who passed away in August, you know, I wouldn't say he wasn't rich, but he was financially secure. At an earlier age, he was financially secure. Now, he was a farmer. He had a talent for farming. Okay, that was his thing. He loved to do it. He had a passion for it. He was a farmer his whole life. He used to be on the fire department, the rough and ready, they called it, fire department in Warren. He was like the master of ceremonies for things. He had talents that he tapped into. And I remember when I was a kid, my grandfather and grandmother opened a little fruit stand. We called it a fruit stand, but they sold vegetables. Doesn't make it a vegetable stand then. On the side of the fucking road in Warren. And what they would do, they had corn, peppers, beans, you know, all these different, you know, vegetables that they had that my grandfather would grow. They would fucking pick them all up, put them in these bushels, and bring them on the side of the road in this little thing that my uncle had built for them. And right in front of my uncle's house on a main road. And they had a business on top of the business that my grandfather was farming. And I'm sitting there going, you know, I look at that and I'm like, that's why my grandfather died with money in the bank. That's why he was financially secure. That's why he was successful. He took a leap of faith. Let's start a fucking fruit stand on the side of the fucking road. It's like a lemonade stand in your driveway. I mean, you start thinking about it, you're like, that's never going to work. You know what? It worked. It was on a main road in a good location. It had great prices, you know, and it was fresh. It was right off the fucking farm that morning. You know, it was fresh. So when people were coming home after work, they would stop. They would buy their vegetables. Support the local guy. But it took him putting the fruit stand together, harvesting the stuff, moving it from one place to another, Portsmouth to Warren to get it done. It took work. It took a leap of faith. It took creativity. It took all those things and tapping into your talents. It took all those things to make it successful. And when they didn't want to do it anymore because they were too old, they just stopped. And you know what? They were financially secure. They lived in the same fucking house. He died in the same house that, you know, basically since I was born, he lived in. And the house was paid off fucking 20 years ago. I mean, you know, like that's how you get financially secure. You tap into your talents. My grandfather didn't have an education. He was a firstborn American Portuguese from fucking Portugal and America. He didn't have a fucking education. He was good with his hands. He was a good farmer. He was good with blue-collared work, and he loved it and had a passion for it. That's what you do. You know, so for anyone's, you know, to say that, well, my brother, my cousin, has been stuck for 15 years in a job doing minimum wage because why? I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't feel bad about that. Why should I feel bad about that? I have my family doing the same thing, and I don't feel bad about it. I say, you didn't do these things. I did. I remember looking at them and saying to myself, I don't want to wind up like this. I don't want to wind up financially insecure. I don't want to wind up having to move because I can't afford the rent. I don't want these things. I don't want to have to wonder where I'm going to get food. I don't want these things. I don't want to have a phone bill and my phone gets turned off because I didn't pay the bill because I don't have the money, because my credit card is late and I paid that, or because my car's going to get repossessed. Like, I don't want these things to happen to me. So what can I do to avoid this from happening? I don't just accept that they're going to happen. I don't just say that this is the way life is. I say, what can I do that's different? I mean, moving from Rhode Island to Maryland, you know, to take a job that at the time, a trainer job down here, $65,000 a year, was a lot better than was up in Rhode Island. But I had to move my entire fucking life alone without my family and friends to come down here, take a leap of faith that I could actually do this job and succeed at it in an area that was fucking completely different than where I was from, with nobody. That was the leap of faith I took to come down here and start. So even if you were in an area where there's not a lot of jobs, move to an area where there are. There are jobs fucking out there. You know, I don't understand why people don't take the chance. They don't fucking help themselves. They don't take that leap of faith, and they don't fucking do what they need to do to better themselves, and they die unhappy. Think about it, guys. This is not a video to fucking bust anybody's balls, tear anybody up. It's a video to open your fucking eyes, which is what I've been trying to do on this channel for fucking 3 years, whether it's training or diet or relationships or addiction or even fucking being successful at doing something that you fucking want to do. Getting yourself out of fucking debt, whatever the case may be. You know, I got a buddy of mine, Dave Whitaker, who lives out in fucking Roanoke. Here's a guy that basically, you know, I don't know what his education is, but the bottom line is he actually helps get people out of debt. That's one of his talents. He got himself out of debt and is financially secure in having these different things go on. And he said, you know what, this is one of my talents. Let me tap into this and put that out there. You know, that's just one example, again, of somebody who turned their shit around. It did something with their life. So, you know, in closing, guys, if you're not where you want to be right now, you know, it's tough. You know, it's hard to sit there and fucking look at your life and be like, fuck, I am fucked up right now. I'm miserable. I'm failing. It's very hard to look in the mirror and say I'm failing. But when you accept it and you start really breaking it down and thinking about it and making a plan and really wanting to focus on getting yourself out of that and really making it a priority, it'll happen. Biohazardtraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biohazardtraining.com is a blog. It's the planning bicep, and we're out.